Let us begin. Today is the 17th day of the second month in the 9th year of Channel Group, March 29, 2021. To begin our day, let's offer our respect and gratitude to our Heavenly Parent and true parents of heaven, earth, and of humankind. 천지인 천부모님께 경배. 바로 let us recite 가정맹세.
가정맹세 1. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본향 땅을 찾아 본연의 창조 이상인 지상 천국과 천상 천국을 창건할 것을 맹세하나이다. 2. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님을 모시어 천주의 대표적 가정이 되며 중심적 가정이 되어 가정에서는 효자, 국가에서는 충신, 세계에서는 성인, 천주에서는 성자의 가정의 도리를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 3. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 4대 심정권과 3대 왕권과 황족권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 4. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님의 창조 이상인 천주 대가족을 형성하여 자유와 평화와 통일과 행복의 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 5. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 매일 주체적 천상세계와 대상적 지상세계의 통일을 향해 전진적 발전을 촉진화할 것을 맹세하나이다. 6. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 하늘 부모님과 참 부모님의 대신 가정으로서 천운을 움직이는 가정이 되어 하늘의 축복을 주변에 연결시키는 가정을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 7. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 본연의 혈통과 연결된 위하는 생활을 통하여 심정 문화 세계를 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다. 8. 천일국 주인 우리 가정은 참 사랑을 중심하고 천일국 시대를 맞이하여 절대신앙, 절대사랑, 절대복종으로 신인의 일체 이상을 이루어 지상천국과 천상천국의 해방권과 석방권을 완성할 것을 맹세하나이다.
For the opening prayer, may I request the Reverend Wenceslau Banabat.
Good morning, our dear brilliant and victorious parents of humankind. We're so grateful today that we could be able to really come together again as one family and offering our Hyungbe to our Heavenly Father and victorious true parents and reciting family pledges to the Father in front of heaven. Truly, we're so grateful for this heavenly tradition that our true parents have really teach us, living Father. And we believe that through this inheriting this heavenly tradition set by our true parents, we could be able to guide our children as well as our tribe, living Father, to go back to your bosoms. The generation set by our true parents is really a great hope, loving Father, for humanity to your bosoms. That's why we need to engrave this unchanging tradition set by our heavenly parents and true parents to all of us. Father, because of the fall of our first ancestors, this unchanging tradition of heaven was lost, loving Father. And our true parents was able to restore this, Father. That's why we need to really engrave this unchanging tradition in our heart, Father, in our bones, to the Father, so that we could be able to really represent our Heavenly Father and true parents in our tribe. We could be able to really empower our tribe, loving Father, our family, and bring them to your bosoms. Father, to this Monday, so we pray that we could be able to start once again a new beginning. And I pray for our national leader, Reverend Leo Angelo Halok, loving Father, to continuously guide him and use him, loving Father, to inspire our brothers and sisters around the nation, as well as in other nations, Father, like Japan, Korea, Father, America, within our brothers and sisters from Philippines, Father, want to really come to know the heart of our Heavenly Father and true parents. Father, I pray through this Hondoke devotion, Father, every morning. We pray that we will be able to be inspired and to understand more the heart of our heavenly parents, and we could be able to understand more the soulful heart of our heavenly parents, so that we could be able to teach this kind of heart, loving Father, to our brothers and sisters, to our tribe, loving Father. Father, thank you so much for this unchanging love of our Heavenly Father and true parents to all of us. Please forgive us, loving Father, for all our shortcomings, and we pray that we'll be able to really unite absolutely, Father, to our Heavenly Father, to parents, to our leaders, so that we could be able to really bring hope, loving Father, to this nation, Philippines, Father. Thank you, Father, for this morning devotion that we have, loving Father. I pray this in gratitude in our Papa's name, Wesley Manabat and Jesse Manabat, Central West family, Ju, Ju,
And let us hope for our reason prayer. Okay, let's hope for our morning greetings. Good morning, heavenly parents and true parents, leaders, brothers and sisters. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Let's greet each other. Morning. For our Hundok reading, may I request Marisa G. David from Pampanga.
Good morning. Hodoke reading. Mother of Peace, a memoir of Hak Jahan Moon. Chapter 8, the mother builds the family builds the world. Loving your family means giving your life. I love you. These are the sweetest words. They are the first words because through love, all life begins. But human beings can speak these words, even respond. God also gave animals the power to multiply through love. Animals search for a partner with whom to bear and raise offspring. But they differ from us in that for them, love is instinctual and they are not responsible to make moral decisions related to love. For human beings, in contrast to animals, love is accompanied by responsibility. Love practiced with moral responsibility is what we call true love. A husband and wife who believe in the sanctity of love and fulfill their responsibility accordingly are practicing true love. Through their love, God creates a nest of happiness. True love makes us true husbands and wives who, after giving birth to sons and daughters, grow to become true parents. The saying, when one's home is harmonious, all goes well, is the truth of the highest value. It was the true in the past, it is true today, and it will. True love is the most important factor in creating a happy family. My husband and I bless the marriages of couples of all races, nations, and religions, and provide true family values education for the sake of creating families of true love. With true love, you can gladly give your life to your family. Sacrificing your life for your family is at once heroic and tragic. I am reminded of a very sad event that took place in Belize, Central America in early 2019. A Japanese couple, Takayuki and Junko Yanai, who participated in the 1988 blessing ceremony of 6,500 couples, had been doing mission work in Belize since 1996. One night, an armed Bulgar broke into their family home. He shot at Mr. Yanai, but at that instant, their third son, 19-year-old Masaki, jumped in front of the bullet, giving his life to save his father. When I received the report of this event, I closed my eyes, unable to speak for some time. Of course, no family lives a perfectly tranquil life, but it's truly heartbreaking to see a family meet with such a terrible tragedy. I also know the pain of losing a family member, of saying goodbye to a child while remaining in this world myself. 4 of my children have already departed this life. Is not every father and mother committed to give their life to save their children, as Masaki did for his father? Love between parents and children most resemble God's love. Love within the family is the model of the love that God desires us to practice in all spheres of life. There are stories like that of the Yanai family, where misfortune suddenly comes from the outside, but there are also stories where families bring misfortune upon themselves. Discord between husbands and wives is one of the main reasons our world cannot be at peace. There are 7.7 billion people on earth today, but the creation of peace really depends upon 2 people, 1 man and 1 woman. That is, a husband and wife. People enter into various types of relationships and encounter different kinds of problems, but the root of all these problems is the same: the flawed relationship between man and woman. Peace will come when 2 people, a man and a woman, trust and love each other. If men and women can fulfill their mutual responsibility to trust and love each other, the world will become the happy place we all wish it to be. I am saying that each person's happiness depends on her ability to achieve peace in their marriage and family. When true parents, true spouses, and true children form a peaceful family, happiness follows naturally. Harmony is created when parents, children, and grandchildren unite in heart. No matter what difficulties come, harmony is created when parents, children, and grandchildren unite in heart. No matter what difficulties come, the parents' heart of love for their sons and daughters and the grandparents' heart of love for their grandchildren should never change. Grandchildren also need to respect and love their grandparents. The greatest happiness is generated within the family where 3 generations live together in love. Children of true piety, filial piety, are those who sacrifice for their parents, just as their parents have sacrificed for them. Before striving to be a loyal patriot, each person must first become a filial child before his or her parents and a sibling who sacrifices for his or her brothers and sisters. A man or woman becomes a truly filial son or daughter when he or she is married. True filial sons and daughters are those who present children to their parents, thereby becoming true parents themselves. The family is the world's most important institution, and Heavenly Parent created it to be the environment of the greatest happiness and goodness. The goodness is because your mother and father are there, and the happiness is because your brothers and sisters are there. All people without exception miss their hometown. When we live in a foreign land, our hearts ache for our hometown. We miss our nation because our hometown is there, and we miss our hometown because our family is there.
Thank you so much for Mrs. Barisa G. David for reading. Let us give big hand to our heavenly parents and true parents. For this time, let us proceed our 10 point of gratitude to be shared by Mr. Froilan Lamos. Let us give him virtual applause.
Good morning, dear leaders, brothers and sisters. It's my voice. Nadidinig po ba ako? Okay, so these are my 10 points of gratitude. First, thank you, Heavenly Parents, for giving me life. Through this, I have the opportunity to receive your love and to share your love to others and see the beauty of your creation. Thank you, Heavenly Parents. Thank you, Heavenly Parents, for allowing me to meet, understand, and accept our true parents. Thank you, Heavenly Parents. Number 3, thank you, true parents, for giving us the divine principle, the truth, for showing or teaching us the heart of God and giving us the blessing. Okay, number 4, thank you to all the lifeline of God and true parents. So that means all the leaders who are trying their best to represent God and true parents, sacrificing everything. Thank you so much to all of our leaders. So number 4, number 5, thank you, Heavenly Parents, true parents, for giving us the blessing. Thank you for also to my through this I received my better have my wife. So everything became wonderful since my wife came into my life. So I can say because of my wife I can experience literal heaven here on earth. So because of my wife I can be grateful even in the most difficult situation, even in the most miserable situation of my life. I can still be grateful to God and true parents because I have my wife with me. So I can gain strength to go on because of my wife. I can practice my faith. So I can say my wife is really everything to me. So I'm always be grateful even though my wife is not hindi siya masyadong nagsishare or ano, but I always feel no na she's always with me, she's always there for me. So that's why I can say because of my wife I can experience heaven always. So parang I'm always fulfilled because of my wife. So thank you so much to my wife. Thank you, Heavenly Parents, your parents, for giving a wonderful wife like my wife. So thank you so much. Also, thank you to number 6. Thank you to my children. Through them, I can always see who I am. I may not be the best father, but I always wanted to give the best for them. So thank you to all my children, my 4 wonderful kids. Thank you so much. Number 7, thank you, Heavenly Parents, for all the things you have entrusted me. Our home, our house, our farm, our car, etc. No, everything. So these are my Garden of Eden. So I'm always grateful that God entrusted me these things. Thank you so much, Heavenly Parents. Number 8, thank you to my neighbors, to all my relatives, my physical family, my tribe. Through them, I can extend God's love to them. So I was so much blessed. So I become a channel of this love to other people. So thank you to them. Number 9, thank you to parents for giving us the opportunity to inherit your victorious foundation through the Heavenly Tribal Messiah Mission. So thank you for giving us this HTM mission. This is really a wonderful mission for all fallen humanity. How we can reach you, Heavenly Parents, and how we can inherit True Parents Foundation. Thank you so much. And number 10, the last but not the least, thank you, Heavenly Parents and True Parents, for your unconditional love to everyone. I always feel that I am unworthy child of yours, and yet I receive so much blessings in this life. I am eternally grateful to you, Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Sarang hamnida. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for Mr. Furlan Lamos for your 10 point of gratitude. Let's give a virtual applause to him. And from now, for the opening song, let us welcome second gen in Pampanga, Mrs. Himsen, Jison, and Simmi sisters.
Light of the world, you step down into darkness. Open my eyes, let me see beauty that made this heart adore you. Hope of a life spent
Thank you so much for second gen sister from Pampanga. Yes, we are here to worship every parents and true parents now. So from now, let us welcome our heartfelt and young, our very own national leader, Reverend Leo Angelo T. Hallo. Let us give him big round of applause.
Thank you very much to our regional leader, Region 3, our Reverend Kaninubo. Thank you so much. I'd like to greet our Heavenly Parent and True Parents. Good morning to our Heavenly Parent and True Parents. To all our beloved leaders, our blessed and families, brothers and sisters, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. And also those who are attending from other countries, good morning to all of you. I would like to really appreciate our Region 3 family for hosting our morning devotion today. I'm really thankful and happy to listen from our elder blessed families who have shared, Sophia Froilan, and also for the wonderful song of our second generation from Pampanga. I'm really happy to meet si Ate Maris today. I remember when I was young, when I was still in high school, my spiritual parent is bringing me in the center in Pampanga, and then I could meet them, the family in Pampanga. That time I'm still very young. I'm really really grateful because my spiritual parents, they're my physical uncle, and then he was matched to Auntie Eileen from Pampanga. So that time I started to join some of our events. They're bringing me because I'm very close to them when I was in high school. So today I'm really happy to meet Ate Maris because that was a long time ago, about 20 years ago already. Yeah, and thank you so much for this really great day again. So I would like to welcome all our precious brothers and sisters. So I just would like to share a little bit. Yesterday, we concluded our two-day National Youth Forum. Really very successful and really, really grateful to Heavenly Parent and True Parents, and also to all our beloved leaders who have really invested so much. Our Dr. Kital, really, I was really moved with all their determination and dedication. Our Sir Julius, our Vice President, our Reverend Ronnie, President of IAYSP, and also the entire IAYSP team headed by our President Rina Lansangan, and also Kuya Angelito, the project coordinator, project director, and all our staff. They really invested so much for this program. So yesterday we could have this really great offering. This is really very historical. This is first time to really work with the government. We could really see great hope actually. Now even the government, they were really amazed with the teachings of true parents. Also, of course, Dr. Edgar Tanate also who really invested so much, and Professor Richel Halipa. Really, we could see now, everybody is really contributing, and of course, all brothers and sisters for all your prayers and Jongsong. We could really make this really offering to our Heavenly Parents. So this will be the beginning of our regional youth forum starting next month. April until November, we will going to educate all the young people per region in the entire nation. So I really hope that we can really give joy and happiness to our beloved True Mother when True Mother will going to receive these reports. Again, I really appreciate everybody, especially all our leaders who have really invested so much. Thank you so much for all your investment and love and hard work for Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Also, tomorrow I would like to also invite you tomorrow and encourage you. We will going to have the Northeast Asia Peace Initiative. We're going to have webinar tomorrow. So we only have very few people registered. So I really encourage all members and also all of you to please register. That will be tomorrow afternoon. I think 2 p.m. Bangkok time. This is very important to support True Mother's initiative for the reunification of North and South Korea. And then April 1, we're going to have the Asia Pacific Leadership Conference. So please really invite our guests, VIPs, to be educated. This is really great opportunities given to us. Let's do our best. So thank you again. So today I would like to share with you Today is our day 58 of our National Morning Devotion. So today I would like to share this topic entitled The Moral Law. Let's study together. So Father said, human beings live within a cyclical existence. Like it or not, human beings live within a cyclical existence. People grow old and return to their original elements, and new people are born. Through this cycle, humanity develops and increases. All things that exist move and function within their limited realm in accordance with the laws of nature that establish nature's cycle. So, Father is today our topic is about immoral law. So, Father is explaining to us that human beings live within there is a cyclical existence. People grow old. We were born in as baby and then infant. We grow old, and then we go to the spiritual world. So this is the cycle, right? Then we go back to our origin. So and then new people again are born. So through this cycle, humanity develops and increases. So we learn many things that everything happens only on earth, right? Even multiplication, only everything happens on earth. So this cycle that was created from the very beginning. So all things that exist move and function within their limited realm in accordance with the laws of nature that establish nature's cycle. So when we look around us in nature, we could see how the law of nature is working. And it is absolutely going through how it is created. Nothing in nature is going against, right, the law of nature. So everything absolutely follows how the nature is created, and then all things that exist move and function within their limited realm in accordance with the laws of nature. So every living being, everything that God created, they live in and move in their based on their limited realm. They doesn't go beyond, right? Everything is in order. Everything is in order. This is how God created, including human beings. Human beings come and go. We were born and then we grow old, we go to the spiritual world, and then new people born, right? And then the same cycle. Father said, all creatures follow absolutely the natural law. The 9 planets of the solar system revolve about the sun. Can a planet say, I will go where I please? No, it cannot leave its orbit. When spring comes, can any animal or plant say, I refuse to grow? No. Spring is the time to grow. Summer is the time for plants to become thick with foliage and their flowers to bloom. Then in autumn, they must bear fruit. So, Father is saying here, when spring comes, can any animal or plant say, I refuse to grow? No, it's natural. Naturally, they will grow. They will, flowers will bloom. So the same is true even in the solar system. So from the smallest to the biggest, anything or every creatures follow absolutely God's law, natural law. Nothing is going against, right? So it's very clear. Father said love should be the center in various orbits of life. The solar system turns in a great cosmic circle. What is its center? It is love, true love. Therefore, at home, we are taught to love and honor our parents, an expression of love called filial piety. We are taught to love our nation. That love is called patriotism. We are taught to love humankind. That is to love as a saint. In other words, in the various orbits of life, our life, love should be at the center. When true love takes the center seat, everything else falls in its proper place. The right order is created around that eternal and unchanging axis. Wow, this is really wonderful, right? Really, true love should be the center. Why we are experiencing all these things in the world? Because actually, we lost true love. true love was lost. So, meaning in all relationships, once true love is absent, there will always be, it will not function well. There will always be disorder. There will always be conflict. That's why we are living in this kind of world. That's why we have to bring back true love. Today in our reading, Mother said, the most important and most fundamental factor in creating a happy family is true love. So starting from there, right? Father said here, in the various orbits of our life, love should be at the center. In every relationships, love should be at the center, starting from the family. So therefore, at home, we are taught to love and honor our parents, an expression of love called filial piety. This is the most fundamental, right? That's why the relationship of parent and child, Father said, this is the center of the universe. When this relationship is perfect and then true love is there, everything will just naturally follow. Children will become patriots. So yesterday, the center of our webinar is, raising patriotic youth for nation building. So to become patriots, our young people, first they need to become filial children. First, they need to honor their parents. Aju, this is really the most fundamental. And then naturally, we will become patriot. We will go and love our nation. Yesterday, I joined the Parents Awards of our Filipino international community in America. Dr. Yong was the keynote speaker. He emphasized again about parental love, Dr. Yong. And then he emphasized about loving our nation. So Dr. Yong again reminded us there, reminded me also that this is really what's lacking in the Philippines. Unlike Korea, unlike Japan, that's why Korea, Korea advanced very fast after the war because Korean people love their nation. That's why really our program yesterday, we are really encouraging our young people really to stand, really become patriot. They need to love their nation. We need to love our nation. This is what lacking for the Filipinos. Yung nga totoo talaga na mga Pilipinos, pamilya lang ang focus, karamihan, right? When you ask, ordinary Filipino people, they will say, just to make my parents happy, just to make my family okay, then already okay for them, but they're not thinking anymore. But actually, foundation is loving parents. We have the foundation in the Philippines. We just need to help our young people, our Filipino people to open more, higher, think higher, right? We just need to do and help them. We have the foundation. Filipino people, they love their families. So we have this foundation. Aju, we just need to help them, loving their nation, love their nation. And then, loving the world. Aju, that's why really, Father's explaining here, going back to our topic, really, love should be the center in various orbits of life. Love should be at the center in all relationships, right? So when true love takes the center seat, Father said, everything else falls into its proper place. The right order is created around that eternal and unchanging axis. So this is really what we're going to bring everything in order. But we really know also that it's really not easy to love one another, to love your spouse, to love your family members, right? That's why everything begins from here, loving other people. Without loving your spouse, how can you love others? Without loving your children, right? How can you love others? Right? So first, we need to love heavenly parents. We need to love true parents, but also practically, we love the people around us, starting from our spouse, our children, and then we expand to the people around us, our brothers and sisters. That's why this is really what is lacking in this world, really true love. We understand that true love is sacrifice, right? Living for the sake of others. That's why if only true love will be, we can bring this back. We can be able to really establish substantial kingdom of heaven in this world. Aju, that's why in every relationships, in every orbits of life, Father said, true love should be the center in whatever we are doing, right? Kaya nga, many great saints and sages, they spoke about, love, doing anything without love, it's nothing, right? That's why whatever we do, how big or small it is, when we are doing it with love, everything became very valuable, become meaningful. That's why whatever we do, Aju, That's why this is really very important. In the family, mother said today, the most important, of course, material things are important. Everything, anything is important. But what should be the center? What is the most important factor to create a happy family? It is true love. Aju? Father said the laws of heaven and norms of family life correspond. Just as the laws by which the sun, moon, and stars were created, the way of heaven set up a system of vertical order. So also in the family, there is a vertical order extending from grandparents to parents and children, and likewise a horizontal order formed by the siblings. The laws of heaven are the values or norms of family uh, life corresponds. So really the same, the family really represents kingdom of heaven, right? That's why starting from the individual. So yesterday, really, our conference was really very inspiring. Actually, they were really inspired with the teachings of our beloved true parents. Not only the participants I could see, even the organizations who are with us, especially the NTF LCAP, see Director Chico, who stayed, in the 2 days conference. And then they wanted all our materials. They were really amazed with all our presenters, with the materials that we use, and then how they presented with, really very heartfelt. Actually, the presentations yesterday, I was really moved with the presentations of our leaders. That's why I feel, because we move people's hearts. That's why really, when people feel love, this is not just, based on intellect, what they have presented. Of course, it's very, intellectual, what were presented, victory over communism, the critique against communism, the ideology. But, it's not only based on the intellect, because the heart is really there. It was really moving, actually. That's why that conference was really successful. So today, in the going back to the topic, so Father is comparing, like, the laws of heaven and norms in the family life, they correspond, right? So that's why everything begins in the individual. So yesterday, yeah, that's why I went back to that, because yesterday also we could emphasize more that the change should begin in the individual. Our brothers and sisters who are passionate, those who are on the other side, on the leftists, actually they are very passionate. They love nation, but only the ideology is wrong, right? And then they want to change. It starts from, from the big, from the nation. But really, change should start from us, right? From us, and then to our families. That's why yesterday it was emphasized there. So our youth leaders, mga SK Federation President po natin, mga LYDO natin, officers. So they emphasize, that change should be starting from the individual. And then also with the very wonderful project that we are proposing, si Sir Ronnie, really very beautiful, our Peace Designers project. Really very important talaga. Ang ganda po talaga ng program po natin. So everything begins from the individual and then in our family. So the law of heaven, sabi ni Father, and norms of family life correspond. That's why if we want to really build kingdom of heaven, then we need to practice the laws of heaven in our own family. Right? That's why if all families, kaya nga po ang Heavenly Tribe ang Messiah, not only our own family, but we practice in our own family, and then we need to encourage others. We need to multiply. We need to reach out to our neighbors. Right? So this is how to really build substantial channel group. That's why going back, to our family, and then expanding to our society, and then to our nation, and then to the world. Aju, so Father is saying here, just as the laws by which the sun, moon, and stars were created, the way of heaven set up a system of vertical order. So also in the family, there's a vertical order. So the order also in how other things were created. The same in the family. So the vertical order, sabi ni Father, sa family, meron tayong grandparents, meron tayong parents and children. Likewise, there's also horizontal order, like siblings, brothers and sisters, our peers, right? So this vertical and horizontal order, how God created everything, also corresponds to the family we can see. That's why the family is the small cosmos, right? The family, the individual, and then the family, everything is created based on that. Aju? So Father said, this is interesting. Father said the shortcut to the kingdom of heaven is to live according to the laws of nature. So in springtime, the flowers bloom. In summer, the plants grow. And in autumn, they bear fruit. Likewise, when you live according to the laws of nature, it is a shortcut to the kingdom of heaven. So that's why just observing nature, actually seeing how nature works, what is their relationship, how they respond, right? So Father said, what is the shortcut in building kingdom of heaven? Many people are going to, study a lot in top universities, they want to be very knowledgeable. Yeah, it's important, to know everything, understand everything. But, without also, practicing in accordance to the law of nature, given how much knowledge we gain, right? Still, we cannot build kingdom of heaven. The most important, Father said, and the shortcut is if we live according to the laws of nature. That's why we need to really, science is really important. Really understanding how things work, right? That's why science and religion needs to be one. That's why the divine principle, never neglect anything. So it should be always balanced, religion and science. This is the purpose, right? Science is very important for us to really know, right? But actually, even not going to school, you can really learn from nature. If Adam and Eve didn't fall, no need schools, right? So Adam and Eve, they are learning from nature, and also Lucifer should really help them, guide them, right? And then as Adam and Eve also are living in that very, very environment that they can really learn. Nature is textbook, right? So that's why if only we can really learn and really apply it in our daily life, all human beings, then this is the shortcut to the kingdom of heaven, Father said. Aju, that's why we love nature, right? We love nature. We want to always go anyway. Ngayon, lockdown na naman and ECQ na naman dito sa area natin, sa NCR area, and the nearby provinces. But, we really love nature. We always want to go to nature. We are learning continuously in nature. So if only, Father said, if we live according to the laws of nature, it is the shortcut to the kingdom of heaven. Aju? Father said, what is the heavenly law? Have you ever heard of this religious term? You know what human morals are, but have you ever heard of heavenly morals? What is the origin of the human morals? Is it the Korean Constitution? No. The origin of human morals is the conscience. Human laws today are based on Roman law, and Roman law is the foundation of world culture. However, human morals are based on the conscience. Conscience precedes law. So this is very important, an interesting topic, Father said. So what is the heavenly law? So have you heard about this religious term? So of course, for us, many times we heard already about this one. For many people, they don't know, right? So Father said, what is the origin of the human morals? The origin of human morals is our conscience. So human laws today are based on Roman law. And Roman law is the foundation of world culture. However, human morals are based on the conscience. And conscience precedes law. So there is a limitation of the law we are following today because this is only based on Roman law. Father said, so human morals should be based on the conscience, right? And then conscience precedes law. Our conscience is, higher, coming first, right? So everything needs to really go back, right? So when we talk about heavenly law, what is heavenly law? Going back to God within. Heavenly parent is the origin, right? Heavenly parent. And then who is heavenly parent in us, in our own self? Where we can find? It is in our conscience. That's why Father said, if we just listen from our conscience, this is God within. We cannot, go everywhere and look for God. But actually, when we start to listen from our conscience, because we are living as fallen human beings, before we meet through parents, before we learn the divine principle, how many years are, already we are 16, 17, 18 years old. We are living fallen life. What is the standard of our conscience, right? That's why not only conscience, Father said, Father, describe these two, conscience and original nature. Of course, basically we use conscience, but ultimately we are, referring to the original mind, which is the standard, right? The standard. That's why no matter what, still this is working, right? So conscience, Father said, precedes law. This is the what? This is the base of human morals. This is the base of human morals, our conscience. So if only we can awaken, kaya nga nung nag-join po tayo ng movement natin, we started to, when I remember last time when Sir Julius was sharing, parang na-realize natin when we started to join na like like we became bad, or we realized things, but actually it's not. But our conscience is started to become more active again, because when we are outside, we are continuously doing not good things, and then like our conscience natatabunan siya. And then when we started to study the divine principle and started to practice goodness, good things in our life, and then our conscience were awakened. Kasi ang basis ng tao ngayon, ang basis ng conscience natin, if only our conscience, based on what is the morality, the existing morality. Yun yung nangyayari sa atin ngayon. But our original mind is based on the original, law. Original law. That's why, kaya nga sabi ni Father ngayon, the law that we are following ngayon in our land, this is not the, our conscience should be higher. That's why we have to listen from our conscience. Ito yung ginagawa natin ngayon. That's why we are, learning continuously, practicing until we can really activate really based on our original mind, ang conscience natin in that level. Later on, we don't need law actually. If all people are living based on their conscience, on their original mind, we don't need law. Law is only established because people are selfish. People are selfish, right? But once, everything is settled down, we educate people become good, then we don't need law anymore, right? So people will just naturally live based on the conscience that is kingdom of heaven. Father said, the root of human morals is the heavenly law. So goodness is the foundation of conscience. So when we deviate from goodness and go astray, our conscience tries to correct us. Our concept of goodness sets the standard for our conscience. Hence, a universal society needs the moral law because its members seek a social order that is in accord with the untainted conscience. Ultimately, the root of human morals is the heavenly law. So, sabi ni Father dito, goodness is the foundation of conscience. When we deviate from goodness and go astray, our conscience tries to correct us. Our concept of goodness sets the standard for our conscience. Kaya dito tayo nagkakaiba-iba eh. Our concept of goodness sets the standard of our conscience. Sabi ni Father dito, hence, a universal society needs the moral law because its members seek a social order that is in accord with the untainted conscience. So ultimately, the root of human morals is the heavenly law. Kaya yun yung sinasabi ko when Father, describe these two, conscience and the original mind. Conscience is based on, sabi ni Father dito, our conscience, our concept of goodness sets the standard for our conscience. Yung concept natin ng good, kung ano yung good sa atin. Then doon naka-base yung standard ng conscience natin. Kaya nga, if how we were raised up ng mga magulang natin, kung alam natin tama, halimbawa, yung bata, bumili siya ng patis sa store. Tapos hindi niya na binalik yung sukle. Alam naman ng nanay niya, pero yung nanay niya hindi siya kinokorek. So ang alam ng bata, tama, okay lang yun. Later on, pag lumaki siya, halimbawa, inask siya na bibili ng ganito, pag may sukle, ikikip niya na yon. Kasi alam niya, yun yung tama, ganun yung kinagistan niya. Ganun yung naging standard niya, ng conscience niya. So, ang alam niya, tama yon. So he will practice that. He will practice that. Kaya, this is what conscience is, sabi ni Father. And then what is original mind? This is based on the original standard. Kaya sabi ni Father dito, a universal society needs the moral law because its members seek a social order that is in accord with the untainted conscience, which is our original mind. So ultimately, the root of human morals is the heavenly law. So not only based on the standard of how we were raised up, hindi lang doon. That's why we need to go deeper. We need to go higher, which is the human morals that is based on the heavenly law in our original mind. This is really important. So that is the root of human morals, sabi ni Father, based on the heavenly law. Adyo, kaya nga, the concept of goodness, ang tinuturo natin now based on the scriptures. What is goodness? Living for the sake of others. Living for the sake of others. This is really, based on the scriptures. And then through father, through parents, taught us very clearly. Right? And then, now, really, this should be what should be practiced in our society. That's why, sabi ni Father, conscience precedes law. So what is ultimately needed in our society is the law centering on our original mind based on heavenly law na level, hindi lang sa based on what the goodness were based on how we were raised up. Aju, that's why really the education is really, really important. So Father said, today we learn, right? If only everybody really follows in accordance to the law of nature. And then based on this heavenly law, then really kingdom of heaven can be realized. So this is really, really important guidance. Kaya we are really learning every day from true parents. If we really just really try to really practice in our everyday life, we are going to continue to improve and develop. And really one day, we can really change starting from ourselves, right? Unang-una, i-change natin ang sarili natin. We become ideal person. And then our family. And then it will just multiply to our society, to our nation, to the world. Aju, when we think about our true parents, true father started alone, right? But true father really, keep and really practice the principle in himself, starting in himself, in true parents, until immediately, now we are reaching the whole world. This is truly amazing. Kaya nga, the principle that we are learning, it's not only for other people. It will first should impact our life. It should first change our life. Kaya tayo rin, even members of our Heavenly Parents Holy Community, every day we are striving, we are doing our best to improve. Every day we are asking, we repent. I'm Heavenly Parent, we ask forgiveness. Not easy to live this kind of life, right? Even though we are learning every day. But the reality, it's really life and death to practice and really live by it. Even though we are understanding today, again, we learn many things, but really every day is a battle between our mind and body. How to really embody and practice this every day to myself, to my own family. Every day, we are really living by it realistically, right? But because we have true parents, we have Heavenly Parent, we have our true mother really guiding us, we can really make it. We will all be victorious, Aju. We can really fulfill our responsibility and really make our Heavenly Parents happy and really proud of all of us. Let's continue to invest with all our hearts and truly bring glory and honor to our Heavenly Parents and true parents. So I think I taught already last slide, so there are 2 more slides. So human morals are rooted in the heart. So human morals are rooted in the heart. Relationships in the family, norms of behavior, social systems, the social order and such should be rooted in the heart. So human morals begin from parents loving their children. Then by children loving their parents. They establish a true human relationship. So a second true human relationship is established by a husband loving his wife and a wife loving her husband. Love is like the leaven for morality in all its aspects. So human morals, Father said, are rooted in the heart. That's why now we are, emphasizing, kingdom of heaven is a world of heart, right? Really now, we are going beyond now what kind of relationship we need to build, really artistic relationship. Relationships in the family, norms of behavior, social systems, the social order and such should be rooted in the heart. Human morals begin from parents loving their children. Then by children loving their parents, they establish a true human relationship. So once again, really this is the center of the universe, parent and child. So human morals begin, sabi ni Father, nagsisimula by parents loving their children and also children loving their parents. Then they will going to establish true human relationship. And then second, that's the first one, vertical. And then second is a husband loving his wife and wife loving her husband, horizontal. That's why these 2 relationship, vertical and then horizontal relationship. When these 2 is intact, then surely kingdom of heaven will be realized. Love is like the leaven for morality in all aspects. So human morals, sabi ni Father, nagsisimula in the heart, and then these human morals starts from parents loving their children, children loving their parents, and then as vertical, and then husband and wife loving each other. Aju, so this is really the center. So I think this is the last slide. Yeah, so the laws of heaven and norms of family life correspond. So formulas rooted in laws have made possible the development of our technological civilization. Whether a scientific idea can be accepted as law depends on how widely it can be applied in its field. Likewise, in our religious lives, we should not go by blind faith. God always carries out his providence through formulaic laws. So we must understand these formulas. There is a clear formula running through the history of the providence of restoration from the past up to the present. This is one of the most important teachings of the unification principle. So this is very important reminder by Father. Father said the laws of heaven and norms are of family life correspond. So I couldn't change this one. So this is what Father said, that we need to live a religious life, not, we should not go by blind faith. God always carries out his providence through formulaic laws, so we must understand these formulas. So formulas rooted in laws have made possible the development of our technological civilization, as we can see, the advancement of the technology. So there is a clear formula they follows. So Father is also explaining here, God always carries out his providence through a formulaic laws. So we must understand these formulas. So the unification principles, sabi ni Father, this is one of the most important teaching of the unification principles. So we learn in history. Kaya nga, really, when solving a problem sa mathematics, yung mga mahilig sa math, there is always formula. Without formula, we cannot solve the problem. Right? So even in history, we can learn. There are really clear formula that really God is using in the providence of restoration in the past and even in the present. So now we could learn in the teachings of true parents what are the formulas we need to go through, right? So it's starting also from understanding clearly the purpose of life, na explained very clearly in true parents, and then based on that purpose of life, what is the formula that human beings needs to go through? We need to perfect our character, right? And then also going through the restoration course, we need central figure, we need time period, we need the offering, right? So these things very clear. We could learn may mga, the timetable, the importance of numbers that was used in history, everything very clear. 6,000 years of history. Very clear. There is really actually one clear formula. But other scriptures, because it was not explained very clearly, not easy to grasp, right? Not easy to understand. Then when true parents came, and then when the divine principle came, everything became very, very clear for us. So kaya tayo, if only we follow this in our life, for sure, we will going to end up victorious. We can fulfill our responsibilities, right? And then we can really establish kingdom of heaven that God is really longing for since the beginning of time. So these formulas are given to us, and then it was made clear by true parents. Very clear. So kaya we have a very clear guide. One day we can end to the final answer, right? We can get the final answer because we have the formula. So this formula, we are trying our best to really practice this in our life and to multiply and to spread to all people, so that together we can establish kingdom of heaven here in this physical world. Aju, and really build kingdom of heaven. So today we learn about these things that our true parents have shared to us, starting from understanding clearly the law of nature that is really working 24 hours a day, that is absolutely following the law of nature of how God created everything. So only human beings are deviating from this. That's why if only human beings will follow based on how God created us, and then based on the formula that was shown. That's why studying history is important, right? And then now studying more the principle, then we can see a very clear formula. So there is no doubt that we will all be victorious. That's why no one, sabi ni True Mother, should be left behind, right? No one should be left behind, but everybody should be able to end to the right answer. So meaning everybody needs to be victorious because the formula is given already to all of us. Aju, so let's really appreciate our Heavenly Parents and True Parents. Let's really offer our gratitude to Heavenly Parents and True Parents for this wonderful guidance again today. So once again, thank you to all beloved brothers and sisters, blessed and families. The Heavenly Parents have and blessings be upon you. Kamsahamnida. Thank you.
Thank you very much for our heavenly parents and true parents, also our love national leader for inspiration. Really, youth in Philippines will be changed or not by following heavenly law according to heavenly parents, true parents guidance. He always inspires us every day. Thank you very much. Let's give him a big round of applause. For our reflection, let us welcome second gen Warren Mangilina with a virtual applause.
Hello, good morning po. I would like to begin. Thank you for all the contributors and symposium of this national awareness. Our capability of impersonal reflection for looking to our perspective from without as a part of a world that exists independently of us is our most distinctive trait as a human beings. Its most asking expression in more moral thinking, for we are moral beings insular as we stand back from our individual concerns and see in the good of others in and of itself the reason for action on our part. If it is not, to be sure, in morality alone that we exercise this power of impersonal reflection, we do so too. Wherever we set about the waging for the evidence, waging for the evidence, for some belief without regard for what we would like to be true, or for what common opinion would say. Yet nowhere does this self transcendence show forth more vividly than we turn attention from our own happiness to the for our own happiness, that of other, taking the same immediate interest in the person's good just because it is hers, as we naturally harbor for our own. I explored the way that the moral point of that there is thus continues a signal expression of humanity. First, the imperial reasons is what the defining the predicate of create the variable one thing is several our point is natural appears to the involve of commitment to some short moral realism. By this mean of view that the objective moral order which exists is independent of the whether or a human being acknowledge it, that we can designate this moral order with term of nature. Then the natural second, the natural position often include a certain sort of epistemological claim, namely that the objective of moral order is to apprehended by all the human being through use of a through use of their reason. Third is the propositions 1 and 2 is the combined to the produce and claim there is a universal common morality accessible to the person through use of a reason. However, proposition 1 and 2 need to be combined. One would hold that exists an object moral order without holding that moral order can be apprehended. See reason, some Christian theologies for example, you hold the character of the objective moral must be revealed in the case belief of an objective world lead to the proposition of universal common morality. The term natural law implies more specific claims about human nature. And I think it might be helpful if I first attempt to the sketch of list different kinds of commitments, the problematic associated with the rational position. Yun na po.
Thank you so much, Mr. Warren Manginigan, for your reflection. We have more time to share our reflections. So, is there anyone who want to give a reflection? Just let me know so you can give reflection. Is there anyone who want to give a reflection? Oh, okay po. For the somewhat Mrs. Porgy somewhat. Did you raise up your hand?
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for our nice, wonderful, amazing guidance today. I only have a short reflections about the message for today. It's really, really very great and amazing guidances that we received this morning. If we could truly, completely follow the right formula, and then there's nothing impossible in fulfilling our responsibility in this very historical and momentous time in our life. That true parents, especially our true mother, is giving us a complete formula. The only thing is that we have to really follow and we have to really unite. And this is the complete formula that given to us by our true parents, our true mother who are living with us right now. And by doing this, we can truly, absolutely, completely give victory and give glory to Heavenly Father and to our true parents by fulfilling this, following the right formula that given to us in this God's providence, in the history, in our life of this time. So we are so grateful for this very wonderful and amazing guidances by our Reverend Leo Angelo today, this morning, that we have a lot of things to contribute for God's providence if we can truly follow the right formula. And by following the natural law, this is very important things, that through the natural law, the creations, we can truly learn many things. And this is the natural formula that we can follow it since from the very beginning, that God given to us. But since we are first human being fell, so these things, it cannot work. So that's why, because of our true parents really giving us the everything, hardships and sacrifices, and this is the only way that we can completely, if we can follow this right formula, then everything is possible. So thank you so much. That's all I can share for this morning, and have a blessed and wonderful day to everyone. 감사합니다.
Thank you very much, Mrs. 4G Samu, for your reflection. We have more time, so okay. Thank you very much for volunteer. Let's welcome our Reverend Romeo Dunaya for reflection.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Can you hear me there?
Yes, po.
Yeah, I would like to, first of all, express my thanks and gratitude to our Heavenly Parents, revealing to us the heavenly laws through our true parents. So as I was listening this morning, came to my mind that human history, it took 6,000 years finding the pathway for peace. Actually, it's just like people who wants to fly an airplane without knowing the principle of aerodynamics. It's been a long time people wants to fly an airplane, but they don't know the formula. Just like humanity, longing for peace, but no idea what are the principles that governs in order to attain peace. So the message today really remind all of us that this unseen heavenly law is continuously operating. Now, no matter how much humanity tried to achieve peace in their individual, in the family, nation, and world, this can never be attained without applying the principle from heaven, which you have just heard today. So many things we need to learn. Like, for example, the kind of function of our conscience depends on the goodness that the person believes. But since man had fallen, there's no standard absolute goodness. Some people, for them to kill is good. For a hard killer to shoot the person is good. For a pickpocketers to pocket some money from somebody is good. So this is the things that going on. So without them knowing the divine principle, people have different view of what is absolute goodness. But in the teaching of our two parents, goodness means live for the sake of others. Evil means sacrifice others for myself. So these are the principles that governs humanity. So True Father really talk about this so deep actually. Even if you apply this kind of topic in the scientific view, even an engine cannot continuously function without applying the four principles: the intake, the compression, power, and exhaust. Applying this four formula, the engine can function. Just like attaining peace, no matter how much effort people need to invest to attain world peace, it can never happen. It only appears that the leaders will stand in a podium and talking about peace, but actually it's just like words flying in the air. Without them knowing the divine principle, without humanity knowing the universal law that governs this world, peace can never be attained. So how blessed people are we that we met through parents. We understand the heavenly laws. We have our leaders who continuously investing their hearts, like today. Another like a buffet, no? Like eat all you can. The foods that we receive in the morning is so much, so much actually. Reminding us once again that there is a law that governs the world. A principle that all mankind should walk through. And that is our mission. Not only us who knew this principle, but the main mission is to really spread this truth to all mankind. That's why we're given the mission of tribal Messiah. That's why I can relate this with what Jesus said 2,000 years ago when he said, for God so loved the world. How small Jerusalem is to save the world, and how limited Jesus' manpower. But his vision is already doing tribal Messiah, trying to influence Rome, trying to penetrate humanity. Like God prepared already Greece under Socrates, China prepared by God by Confucianism, by Confucius, India prepared by God by Buddha. waiting for this mandate from heaven, from Rome. That is how Jesus, that's why Jesus said, for God so loved the world. Because he need to establish tribal Messiah mission. The same formula we need to apply. When we say we want to save Philippines, when we say you want to save the world, or when we say I want to save my tribe based on tribal Messiah. This is the principle of peace. We need to go to the basic families, tribe, society, nation, and the world. So thank you very much for this beautiful message today. That once again, we are aligned back to the standard that God set up since the beginning of creation. But this principle was just ignored. People live according to what they want to do, according to their own self-satisfaction, without abiding their day-to-day lives with a principle. So excited. So once again, being enlightened so much for today's guidances from our beloved national leader, learning so much from two parents, and two parents shared to us everything he learned from heavenly parents. Thank you for this. God bless us all. Happy day.
Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much for Lebanon Rome or Duyana for your deep and also educational and important reflection. And for our final guidance, let us welcome our very own Regional Vice President, Heavenly Asia Pacific Region 2, Lebanon Julius D. Malik with a warm round of applause.
Okay, good morning, brothers and sisters. Thank you so much for joining us again in this Hundukhe. I really appreciate the sharing today of our national leader based on our true parents' words. Words always like gives us life and love. So as Kuya Romy said, this is like every day it's like all kinds of food we can receive, spiritual food every day. So we should always be thankful and grateful to our true parents, because not all people have this opportunity. Every morning listening to these wonderful principles, and we are the ones who are receiving this every day. So we should always be grateful, and at the same time we need to be mindful also of the desire of our heavenly parents, the desire of our true parents, that all people need to listen to this guidance, and that is our responsibility. So anyway, thank you very much. Yesterday, as mentioned by our national leader, we could do the National Youth Forum. This is a kick-off program in order to start the regional level youth forum. So why is this so important? Because this is a national program, not only our own program. It's adopted by the National Youth Commission, and now we are going around in order to educate all the youth leaders in our nation. Actually, they want to expand. Yung National Youth Forum pa lang, hindi pa nagsimula yung regional level, but already they're thinking of this has to trickle down to the provincial level. So this is why this is so beautiful, kasi parang it's like the Cain realm is now embracing Abel realm. It's like for a very long time, after all the sacrifices and the foundations laid by our true parents, now they are recognizing, we have a very beautiful teaching which can really help the society, which can really help the people. And so please pray continuously, because of course this is not easy, since this is a national program. We know that Satan is always lurking around, right? So waiting for opportunity. So that's why we need to work harder, and our sincerity of really transforming this nation, how we can really make the nation of the Philippines become a nation of Chonelgu. So anyway, just to share a little bit about the moral law. When we live, Father said, when you live according to the law of nature, this is shortcut to kingdom of heaven. This is actually very important, because after the fall of Adam and Eve, no, humanity, no, we separated from heavenly principle. But the rest of creation, the nature, remains undefiled. Kumbaga, they maintain their connection with the principle. So that's why we can see even in the past, ginagamit yung mga creation in order to offer, no? Because they are undefiled, they are pure. So that is why when we think, as True Father said, when we just follow the law of nature, then this is like shortcut to kingdom of heaven. And then, as yesterday, actually, there is one youth leader who asked about ethics and morality, and then also talking about law and morality. So I think she was asking a question about whether all laws are moral, like this. So actually, not all laws are moral, because as mentioned also by Kuya Romy, na the standard of absolute goodness was not maintained. Kaya kung ano yung standard of goodness prevailing in the society, yun yung ginagawan ng law in order to protect the people. That's why it's always relative. Nagbabago siya. However, heavenly law is unchanging because that comes from our heavenly parents. The nature of our heavenly parents is unique, eternal, unchanging. And so that's why even the law coming from heavenly parents should also be eternal and unchanging and absolute. So that's why True Father is talking and guiding us what is heavenly law and what is heavenly moral. And then Father, sabi ni True Father, conscience precedes the law. You know, every time True Father talks about conscience, he is referring to the original mind. He is referring to the original mind. So conscience or the original mind precedes the law. So that is why, and then sabi niya, the next one, Father said, goodness is the foundation of conscience. So that's why if we are very clear what is the meaning of goodness, which is what? Other-centered, living for the sake of others, then we will never go wrong. This is the law of nature, law of cooperation, based on what we call like interdependence, mutual prosperity, universally shared values. So we're so fortunate people because we can now understand, oh, this is the standard of goodness, sacrifice, living for the sake of others. And then if we just follow that, and then we are actually, we will never go wrong. Just to close, True Father said, if you are 50 years old and you have lived for more than 25 of those years for the sake of the universe in accordance with heavenly principle and heavenly law, then you will go to the kingdom of heaven. So ibig sabihin nito, if half of your life, Father said, no, you have used that in accordance with heavenly law and heavenly principle, then you can enter the kingdom of heaven. Very amazing, because I'm sure some of us have learned the principle in just maybe 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. But even for us, even though we have learned the principle long time ago, but the point is, have we lived our life based on heavenly law? So that's why this heavenly law is based on the culture of heart. We can practice it from individual level, family level, society level, national level, worldwide level. So that is why when we think of this, I am reminded, and also I would like to remind brothers and sisters, True Father explain about the heavenly law. And then he said, these are very basic, fundamental heavenly law. And then he mentioned like this, do not hurt people's heart. And then do not stain blood lineage. And then the last one, do not misuse public funds. So these are very important. Do not hurt people's heart. Do not stain blood lineage. That means blessing and purity. And then do not misuse public funds. That means, like religiously doing our tithings, and also donation, and at the same time, using public money for the good of advancing the providence. So thank you so much for this guidance today. Let's have a wonderful and happy victorious day today. Thank you very much. Kamsahamnida.
Once again, thank you so much for Lebaron Julius. To close our morning devotion, may I request Mr. Liko Senangunan to give closing prayer.
Ayun. Anong ginawa mo? Kita sa Good morning, our brothers and sisters. Let us pray for the closing prayer. Our gracious Heavenly Father and true parents, thank you for this opportunity to listen to your words. May the wisdom we learn be with us, mind and heart put in action. Bless us again with your love and embrace us with your continuous blessing as Heavenly Father, that your guidance be with us always. We have and pray also that God heal our land from the COVID-19 sickness. This I pray in the name of Rico Neresa Sinahonon in this family, Jew.
To let us all for our unison prayer. Okay. Thank you very much for Heavenly Parents and true parents, our leaders, brothers and sisters. There is one special uh, uh, news. Today is actually our Tita Shirley, the 6th birthday. So just let's uh, uh, I'll say celebrate her. Thank you. 생일 축하합니다. Happy birthday, Tita Shirley. Happy birthday, Ate Shirley.
Happy birthday po.
Birthday po. Happiest birthday, Ate Shirley. Okay, thank you very much.
This is short announcement. Once again, we would like to encourage all our leaders to please invite your VIPs to register to our Northeast Asia Peace Initiative virtual conference tomorrow, March 30, 2021, 2 p.m. Bangkok Standard Time. So it will be 1 p.m. here in the Philippines. No, 3 p.m. here in the Philippines. So Once again, we would like to invite all our leaders to invite your VIPs to join this virtual conference. And on April 1, we have also the fifth APLC. So you can also invite your VIPs to join, to be educated. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you very much, everyone. So have a nice day po, everyone.
One more. Today is the last day of Convo registration. So please, those who want to apply, you can still have today. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
po.
Happy birthday, Tita Shirley!
Happy birthday, Ate Shi.
Happy birthday, Ate Shirley!
Thank you so much, brothers and sisters.
Happy birthday, Ate
Happy
Shi.
birthday, Tita Shirley.